Hi everyone, this is Shashank Singh and we are in the way of learning Python programming language. In this video, we're going to discuss about functions in Python, right? So first of all, we should know what are functions and why we're going to use it actually. So a function is a block of organized reusable code which is used to perform a single related action. So function provide better modularity of your application and high degree of code reusability as well. It means if you are writing, if you have to repeatedly use a block of code many times while writing a Python code, so you can have two way. First one is you can write the same set of logic again and again throughout the program wherever you want, right? However, the second way is you can put the same set of logic inside a function and you can use simply by calling the function, right? So this might be a rocket science for you guys if you are not aware of functions in any programming language. So don't worry about it. Let's do not waste our precious time and let's just understand how exactly we can write a function, right? So here I am using Jupyter notebook for writing Python code. So before writing a function, we should know some rules as well. So function block begins with a keyword def followed by the function name and parenthesis, right? So we have to write def. Now let me write function name, func, function name, right? So you can put any function name, but it should be the best practice is if you are writing a Python code professionally, the best practice is you have to write the function name related to what exactly the function will do, right? So here I am just putting the function name to let you guys understand well. Now I am putting few set of logic, right? So before I mean, like as I told you, for writing function block begin with def keyword followed by function name and parenthesis, right? Post we have to write colon. After that you can write set of logic, right? So here I am writing, I'm just printing my name, right? So this function is responsible to print my name, right? So once we'll execute, we are not getting anything. Why? Because we are not calling the function. So how can we call this function? We have to, for calling this function, we have to write the same function name here, right? And followed by parenthesis. Once we'll execute this, we'll get Shashank. So let me print few more things. Let's say if I'm writing here, Shashank 1, Shashank 2. So post execution, once we will call this function, we'll get all the statements whatever that is there inside this function, right? So similarly we can write a function. This is a simple example, right? Also we can write few more functions as well, and we can call as per our own use cases, right? So let me write few functions. Let's say this one is function 1. Here I'm putting this function 2, sorry, 2 Shashank 2, 3 Shashank 4. Once we'll execute this, we are not getting anything because we are not calling any function. Let's say if I wanted to print this particular, if I want to print Shashank only, right? So I want to call, I have to call this function, right? Specifically. So I am calling this function, I am getting Shashank, right? Now I want this also. So I can call this function, will get the desired output. So as per our own use cases, we can call any function, we can write any function inside and n number of function inside a program, right? So this is how function works, right? But let's say if you don't want to execute a function, because if you are writing a professionally, if you'll see the professional code, so a function will be consisting of a big logic. So you don't want to execute, you don't want to call the function before knowing the exact functionality. So if you have to know what this function will do, right? So what you can do here, you can provide docstring here. So docstring is something like which is similar to comment, but actually it's not. The docstring contains the definition of function, what exactly the function will do, right? So let's say if I'm writing here, we can put anything. This is just like a documentation part, right? So this function will print Shashank, right? Once we will execute this, so I wanted to check what is the definition of this, right? What this function will do. So what we can do here, we can write simply help. Inside this help function we can call this. So this function will print, Shashank will get to know what this function will do, right? So this is like similar to comment, but actually it's not. Comment is just omitting that line in multi-line comment or single line comment, but this is a docstring wherein we have to write uh, definition of the function, right? This is not mandatory, by the way. Now let's explore a few more couple of examples dotted around the same, right? So let me write def keyword. Now what I'm doing here is I'm writing any, let's say, sum, right? Now I wanted to sum add two numbers. Let's say if you are writing a code, you are writing a complex program for our application, right? And wherein you have to add two numbers 100 times, right? So what you have to do, you can simply pass two parameters inside a function. So you can provide a function name, right, followed by parenthesis. Inside this you should have to pass the parameters. Now let's say z is equal to x plus y. Let me write the logic first. Print z, right? So this is my logic. I have created one function wherein I have passed two parameters. Parameters are something like, let's say if I have to add two numbers, so I have passed x and y, right? I have put in the logic here. So now we have to call this function. Sorry. So for calling this function, we should have to provide the same name, same function name. So I am writing same name here. Once because here we are calling same name, then parenthesis. Once we will call this, we are not getting anything. We are getting error, missing two required positional argument. So this is the concept wherein, let's say you are passing two parameters, you strictly have to pass two arguments here, right? 2 comma 3, right? Not more and not less than 2. So once you will call this is called caller, right? So this will call this function, right, which is accepting two arguments x and y. We are passing two arguments, so we are getting the result, right? It will execute the set of code, whatever the code will be there inside this, right? So it's just printing z, so it's printing z here, right? So there is something called return, right? So the statement return exits a function, optionally passing back an expression to the caller, right? So let's say you are writing return z, right? Now yep, so you will get 5 as the output, right? So what is the difference between if you are writing return here and you are writing print here, right? So let's just understand this, because if you will write print z, so you are getting 5, right? If you were writing return here, so you were get 5, right? So what is the difference, by the way? Just think about it. So you can pause this video, you can note it down for your further remembrance. Let me write result here, right? Result is equal to this. I wanted to result is equal to, I wanted to do further operation on this variable, right? Result is equal to result square or result q, whatever you want to, sorry, print result, right? So if you are executing this, you are getting error. It's showing none type, right? But let me write the same code here. So you are getting the desired output. Why? What is the reason behind it? Because a return as I told you, the statement return exits a function, optionally passing back an expression to the caller, right? So if you are writing return here, it's optionally passing back expression result to this caller, right? So we are getting z is equal to x plus y, so 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, so it's returning value to this caller, right? So now we are getting 5 here, so we are getting 5 here, so 5 is get assigned to this variable. Now 5 square will be 25, right? but here in this case we are not getting any expression to this color. So let me check uh, here. Let me check type. Once you will check type of this result, you will get, sorry, I can have to execute the same thing here. Let me, so you can note this, I am just removing this. So we are getting none type, right? Because it's not passing the expression to the caller, right? Because we are not writing z here. So this is the difference between both of two, right? So let me write one more code. Def, now I am writing xyz, right? Colon. Now I don't want to write anything here. Simply I am calling this function. What do you think? Once you'll execute this, you are getting error, right? So but you don't want to put any logic inside a particular function, right? So what you can do, you have to write pass here. So if you'll write pass, so it won't throw error. It's like just like you are not putting anything, you can call the function and not get error, right? So this is all about function. We'll come back with the next video very soon. Thanks for watching this video.